Shots fired! Star Trek Discovery throwing salvos off the bow of the Orville ship. Critic scores coming in hot on both series. And the times that these shows are starting every week are questionable. Shane, let's get into it.
Sweetness.
Hey, my name is Brian, that's Shane, this is the Popcast, and we are talking about Star Trek and the Orville. Two of our favorite topics to talk about on this channel if you've ever been watching us, and if you've seen this video for the first time, or if you've seen this in the past and you're not subscribed, scroll on down a little bit, hit that subscribe button, hit that alert button to get notified of all our upcoming videos. And if you want to support us, but you don't want to spend any money on Patreon or buy a t-shirt or whatever, then do us a favor. Watch the ad. It's like 25 seconds.
Yeah, for real. Just don't skip it. And that way we get to benefit and you get to keep watching videos.
Yes. Now, if you clicked on this video, you're probably like, what? Star Trek versus the Orville? What are you talking about? We all know that there is a divide between Star Trek and Orville. There are fans that watch both series and are happy with both. And there are fans that watch one and not the other and vice versa. But they are very similar. The Orville is very Star Trek-esque. They started off their marketing for season 1 as almost like a parody of Star Trek. Since then, they developed their own audience, their own tone, and some people call them the real Star Trek. Versus the Star Trek Discovery, which has a darker tone, more elements that are out of place for more Star Trek fans. But CBS decided they're going to battle this upcoming juggernaut competition of theirs, Orville, with some very interesting timing. And we're going to get into that. But first, Shane, I want to talk about the critic scores and the audience scores on Rotten Tomatoes, because as you know, Rotten Tomatoes drives a lot of views to a lot of TVs and movies.
Well, I do want to say, though, that before you go to there, that this war is not an overt war. It is a silent and it is a behind-the-scenes war. And in the open, both franchises are indicating there is nothing but happy friendship between the two.
Oh, nothing but happy friendship.
Yes.
Butterflies and rainbows.
We'll show you why. We'll show you why we don't think that is the case.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the critic scores. So what you're seeing right now is season 1 of both Discovery and the Orville. They aired around the same time. Here's the deal. Yeah, as you can see, the tomato meter, the critic score for Discovery is a solid 84% certified fresh. And the audience score is a 57% certified trash can. Okay.
Certified trash can.
And the Orville is an 18% rotten. And the audience score is a 93% giant buttery popcorn bucket.
I'm hungry all of a sudden.
What do we see here, guys? The audience loves the Orville. Critics hated the Orville. Critics love Discovery. Audiences were like, meh. That was season 1. Well, what changed between the first season of both these series and the second season? Well, I'll tell you. Narratively, not much. The Orville is the same show last season as it was this season. In fact, it's a little better.
Pretty much.
Right? But it's pretty much the same show, same characters, same shtick. A little lighter on the jokes, a little more on the drama, but it's pretty much the same thing. Discovery, as of this past very first episode, its tone changed a little bit, introduced a couple new characters, but not much has changed between the series narrative-wise. So, what scores are we looking at? This is Discovery.
Okay. That's season 2.
Season 2 of Discovery. Look at it. It looks pretty similar to you. You got 84%, 57.
Okay.
And you got 87 over 52.
So it's you've gotten a little better with critics and even a little bit worse than fans.
Yeah, just a little bit. Pretty much same old, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Almost like maybe some of the critics are really interested in liking
They're hedging their
Discovery.
bets.
What's that?
They're not going to change.
They're doubling down. Maybe they're doubling down because they've been influenced to do so. We'll see. Let's look at
trust critics.
Yeah, let's look at the Orville score for this season. What?
Well, okay. So that's not the season 2 Orville score.
This is the overall season.
This is the combination of season 1, season 2. If you want to see what season 2 Orville score looks like, it's actually 100%.
Now, in these last 2 slides, I'm showing you basically the combination.
Oh, it's the combination. Okay, so so it's the combination of the 2. So it's important to note that not one critic critics got spanked last year on the Orville. They got spanked because people, the fans love the show. Critics didn't like the show. They didn't get it. And they just dumped on it. So now that season 2 came along, the critics, you don't want to be that critic that decides they want to continue to not change their situation because basically they lost, right? Is that what you're saying?
Right.
So that's why it's 64% fresh. But if we got an honest indicator last year, this show would probably be ranking a lot higher, right?
Well, yeah, let's look. This was season 1, 18/93.
Right.
Season 2, the updated score to include season 1 scores and this score would be 64%/94. Audience score got a little better. The tomato meter, the critic score, got a lot better. We're talking about now it's certified fresh, or not certified fresh, but it is fresh, right?
It is, yeah. 60% is fresh, so yeah.
So what? Did the critics just decide to jump on board now that they've discovered that when they talk about the Orville and they review the Orville in a nice and fair and balanced way, that they get more clicks, so now the scores are going up? Or have they been paid off by Fox? It's possible.
Well, just to be fair on both of these shows, there is no consensus yet. So the tomato meter hasn't locked it up and said, okay, that's it. This is what the show is. So there is no consensus yet. But, it's obvious that what are critics looking for? That's a better question.
Right.
Do you think they're paid? What are they looking for in a show?
Now,
they're looking for, go ahead.
Well, so it's hard to tell when a critic's being influenced by a network or a studio to give a favorable review or not, right? But I can tell you one indication as to whether or not a critic is being influenced or not is when the audience scores and the critic scores are so drastically different. That's when you see.
Yes.
That's when there might be a possible indication that critics are being influenced a certain way or the other via outside sources.
Right, because critics are not so much more mentally, aren't that much more intelligent that they can, that their opinion should sway that much more differently than people that liked it. If you like it, you like it. If if it's not a critical success, what would make Star Trek Discovery a critical success over the Orville season 1? Is it because the Orville's got humor in it? Is it because the Orville's maybe got some things that critics would consider tasteless? Is it because Discovery's got a diversified cast with a central positioned woman as the lead? There's a lot of reasons why critics do these types of things now.
Right. But are they based on the content, or is it based on things outside the content? That's the question.
That is the question. And I think you're right. When things are horribly skewed, then you have to ask yourself if there is some nefarious thing occurring.
Right.
So what are you saying overtly?
Okay, so overtly, these two shows are definitely competing on some level, right? Not just for views and fans. What's that?
They didn't start out that way.
No.
I think Star Trek Discovery didn't even think that the Orville would be a blip on their radar.
Yeah. Discovery was not worrying about the Orville. They weren't sweating about the Orville until it was such an audience success. All right, so this war is from last year when Discovery was airing on CBS All Access on Sunday nights. But now, this is when the Orville airs, Thursdays at 9 p.m. Right. Now this year, Discovery, Thursdays at 8:30 p.m.
Oh yes, we actually figured this out during our last Orville live show. We were actually producing the show. We were doing a live stream, and we were trying to figure out when Discovery was going to start. And we found out that it was actually airing that night, 30 minutes prior to the Orville. Now we know the Orville is an hour-long program. So, I mean, listen, when you're in war, all's fair in love and war, right?
Right.
So this is just proof that there is a war happening right now, because CBS would not try to cut into Orville fans by airing their show 30 minutes before the Orville comes on, so that you're stuck watching Discovery while the Orville is on, basically destroying their numbers, especially for live views.
Well, and here's the weird part, Shane. It doesn't matter what time Discovery airs. I'll tell you why. First off, having this 8:30 time, like, why not? Why is it not 8 or 9 or 7 or, I don't know, why isn't it just a round time? Why is it specifically 30 minutes before the Orville airs? Because they're on an app. They're not competing with anything else that's airing that day. There's no other schedule that they have to follow. They're not trying to find a time slot for this show. They specifically manufactured an 8:30 p.m. time for a reason. It was based on data. What's the data? What data are they using that's the best time to air, not even air, to allow you to watch it on the app, specifically on Thursdays? Well, what's the only data I can possibly consist of would be the fact that the Orville's also airing that day, 30 minutes later.
Well, yeah, it's fear. It's a fear-based decision. Because if you aired your show, if Star Trek Discovery airs its show at 9 p.m. Eastern time, it's going to likely greatly lose to the Orville for views. Greatly.
Right.
At least at the beginning of that thing. There's a reason why it's happening. I don't know why they picked Thursdays. It's like they wanted to go head up with them. Thursdays has always been a great night for television. I think they specifically went Thursdays to try to smash the Orville. I do. I feel like it seems like that's what it is. You know, they came in, you wouldn't go 30 minutes before. They're trying to hold the audience. They want to take a smash at the Orville, because the Orville, I don't know, if they took a swing at them, maybe.
Well, it's simple.
Lieutenant Tyler.
We still have an outdated system, bro. We have an outdated system with the Nielsen family rating system.
Right.
And when you're not watching the Orville live, when you're watching it recorded, or you're watching it streaming, those numbers aren't counting as much as the numbers when you're watching it live. Guess what? You can't watch it live when you're still finishing up Star Trek, which means you're going to start Orville halfway through the series, which means you're watching it recorded.
Yeah, and they know that a lot of Orville fans also watch Discovery, even though some of them are not terribly happy with the series. They're still watching it. So they realize that they're going to be able to impact the Orville's numbers, maybe even great enough to cause it to have some concern over whether or not it gets another season. And let me tell you, this is television warfare right here.
Oh, yeah.
You know, this is sending a message. And, you know, the people over at the Orville, you know what they're doing right now. They're going, okay, all right, this is how we're going to do this, right? So, you know, the Orville stands on its own. It can do what it wants. The Discovery is the one that needs to be scared. And this is a fear-based decision. If Discovery wasn't afraid of the Orville and having fans taken away from it, then they wouldn't be making this move. They would be on a different night, different airing. They can all show. There's a whole week to go.
Yeah.
Well, they can have fans of both shows, no problem. It's not about that. They're basically trying to say, the Orville, you guys want to be Star Trek? No, we're Star Trek. And how does CBS deal with people that get in their way, Brian? How do they deal?
They bulldoze through them, dude.
They bulldoze through them. They steal their tardigrade stories. No, they steal their tardigrade stories. They close down their Enterprise walk through on the computer. They destroy fan things.
Yeah.
Right. That's what they do. And guess what they're going to do? They're going to try to stomp all over the Orville. You can see it happening here.
Because CBS is a bunch of bullies. Let me tell you something. If anybody is questioning this, I need to be very clear, and I'm going to reiterate what I already said. Star Trek Discovery is only available to view on CBS All Access.
It's an app, yes.
CBS All Access is either a website or an app, whether it's on your Roku or your Apple TV or your phone or it's on your browser, whatever. It's an app. You don't have to specifically make it available or air it at 8:30 or 9 o'clock or any time. You can have it available at any time that day or that week. Okay? Yeah. You're not competing with anything else premiering. It's not like Hawaii 5-0 is premiering that day on that time. Okay?
Right. And I would argue, Brian, that this makes such little sense because airing it at this time really takes away from. They've got a brand new show on CBS at 8:30 on Thursdays called FAM.
And they do.
They got a brand new show. So they must not feel like those two shows aren't going to have the same audience because FAM is more of a, how do you want to say it? A more conservative, a more right-leaning show? Is that what I want to say?
I don't know.
So I saw the episode. Now listen, so and Discovery is more of a left-leaning show. So here's the thing. They are taking views away from their own primetime audience at 8:30.
Yeah, like their actual physical television show, which they don't care about their physical. They don't. The relation between All Access and the actual network channel has never been an issue for them when they make things available on the app. It never has been.
It shouldn't be, but they're going to pull away because people who are waiting to see Star Trek Discovery, the new episode, they're going to immediately tune into that. They want to catch it. A lot of people do want to catch it at the beginning. They know this. If you're paying for it, you want to see it because you're looking forward to it. So that means you're automatically not going to. I mean, if you're smart, you pop this open on the app sometime outside of prime time, maybe before prime time starts.
Right.
The only reason you would do this is to try to crush the Orville.
Yeah,
that's it.
It's so weird.
That's it. There's no other answer.
There's no other answer, really, because this time is not arbitrary. And it's not even easier to market. Like, from a marketing perspective, half times on paper are harder to get across. There's a lot more characters and stuff to deal with on banners and videos. And, like, it says 8:30 p.m. ET or 5:30 p.m. PT. Like...
Yeah.
Hey, here's a better one. 7 o'clock. 7 p.m. 3 characters is what you need, or whatever, you know?
Right. And I want to say specifically, this is not a hit against the Discovery cast or the makers of the show. This is directly on CBS. This is directly on CBS's shoulders. They're the ones who take care of the programming. They're the ones who make decisions on timing. It has nothing to do with the showrunners. So this is not malicious. I'm not saying the people who make Star Trek, the actors on Discovery, are anti-Orville or anything like that. Obviously, Jonathan Frakes is directing both shows. So obviously, there's not a his and her that's not completely divided to the point of where the casts hate each other or anything else. This is 100% CBS network trying to, stab the Orville, 100%. So not the cast, so this is not on Star Trek Discovery. So everybody's a fan here of Discovery going, what are you talking about? It's not Discovery. It's CBS, guys. And if you're a fan of Star Trek Discovery, you don't have to like CBS.
Yeah.
Okay. They're not doing you any favors, even as a fan of Star Trek Discovery right now. Trust me on this, by making you pay for your TV show.
CBS is a bunch of greedy, pompous know-it-alls, man. Do whatever they want.
Remember, this is the studio, same studio that has Les Moonves and the guy from Bowl who recently got in trouble for sexual harassment. This is like the Me Too studio.
Let me tell you something, guys. If we had actually had any imagery or video clips in this video, I 100% guarantee you CBS would have blocked this from you being able to watch this.
There's no way we're doing that.
Because we've done that before. We've made reviews that were not friendly to Discovery, and they were immediately blocked. And we had to go back and redo them and remove anything that would legally allow them to hit that block button on us. Trust me. Trust me, guys.
Background stuff.
Yeah, CBS, they're a bunch of bullies. You're going to make 14 cents off the monetized value of that video? We're going to take that 14 cents from you because we can. These guys, they don't play around, dude.
CBS needs a culture change. We've said it in several videos. We're not out to attack CBS. CBS is just doing this to themselves.
Yeah.
And whatever their business plan is, they're not going to, I don't think they're going to successfully mess with the Orville. All they're going to do, I think in the long run, what's going to end up happening is that they're going to lose initial views. I think people are still going to come to see the Orville at 9 o'clock. I don't think this is going to work. I mean, if you're going to attack somebody, this is definitely the way to do it. And it should overtly show it's completely unnecessary. I will say it does air at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time, which means the Orville still airs at 9 o'clock Pacific time for the rest of us. So really this is affecting mostly just the East Coast. But, taking into anybody's audience is still an attack, no matter how you look at it.
Let me tell you something. I'm pretty sure that's just a technology problem because...
Oh, right. You're right. Yeah.
In order for them to
release it, right.
To release it on the website at that particular time, they would have to region lock the thing, and that would make it really hard for people to use the device across multiple IPs or multiple devices, use their app. This is a technology problem. It's plain and simple a technology issue, and not if they could do it without any problems, they would have. But their app won't allow specific region releases. That's really what it is. It's technology.
Really great point, because I was wondering about that too. That's a really good point. If they could do it differently, they probably would.
No, they would have to region lock their devices to specific times, which would the coding involved in that on an app that necessarily doesn't even they don't even try to release things at a certain time. Everything's released sort of. There's no Magnum PIs coming onto the app at this time. No, it's it aired on TV. Sometime the next day it'll show up. They're not advertising specific times that way like they do for Discovery because they can't. It's that simple. They can't.
That's true. Yeah. And I do think one of the other things that Discovery has done is they've tried to insert this kind of unnecessary humor that just doesn't really make a lot of sense. It doesn't really fit the theme of the show. So in this first episode of Discovery, we talked about the alien in the elevator. It sneezes on the guy next to him, basically. I mean, for what purpose? Not really any, other than just to try to get a random laugh, right? Or something like that.
No, they even use the elevator. That's funny.
What was they use the elevator? Right. So it's almost like, so to me, this
not the lift. He actually called it an elevator. Yeah.
Right. And which, so maybe there's a little bit of that there. I'm not sure. Maybe they're just trying to be funny. I heard that they're just, they're doing what they want to do. It has absolutely nothing to do with the Orville. It just seems awfully suspicious. And before we go, I do want to say, I want to retcon one thing. In the episode of our review of Star Trek Discovery, I did say that Michael Burnham and Spock kiss. Went back and took a closer look at that. It looks like it's not Spock. It's actually Lieutenant Tyler.
Oh, look at us making editorial retractions. Ooh,
right. Well, but in all fairness, it was literally a 1 second clip. It was a 1 second clip. It was fast. And it came at the end of Michael and Spock doing a bunch of stuff together. Right. And then all of a sudden there's this kiss. The entire preview had shown nothing of Lieutenant Tyler and doesn't show anything of him after that. So I got to feel like that was done specifically to get people talking about it.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely 100% not true. So there's no proof of Michael kissing Spock.
Yeah, that was intentional by CBS to try to get, it's just a marketing play. Everybody does it. But I'm very proud of you for making that editorial retraction. That's impressive, Shane.
Got to be responsible, keeping it real.
Go. Okay, keep it honest pop culture at its finest. All right, guys, we're going to leave you with this.
Where's your face at, bro?
No one's made it yet.
People are afraid.
We love you all. That's the end of our show. If you don't know what these wonderful, beautiful creatures are, they're Mocklins from the Orville. You should check it out. We will be back tomorrow with the AGT, or later today. I'm not sure when you're seeing this video, but at some point, the next video will be our AGT Champions review, where we're going to talk about the last 3 champion America's Got Talent champion shows. And we're going to obviously talk about the acts from last night, what went home, who didn't, who should have, etc., etc., etc. And the next day, we'll be back for our Flash video, Flash after show. And the day after that, we're doing an Orville pre-show. And the day after that, we'll be doing an Orville after show, plus a Discovery after show. Oh, kind of
And
good.
Somewhere in there's going to be a feed. How are we going to fit everything in?
And somewhere, mixed amongst all those amazing, entertaining videos, we're going to give you that big, bad, hour-plus long feed video. So, if you're not a subscriber, hit that button on the way down to the comments to share your opinions, because as always, these are our opinions. Even though we said we're 100% on it, we're probably more like 99.999%. So if you disagree with us, let us know in the comment section down below. Let's have a conversation and hit that alert button so that you get all the notifications from our channel. Why not? We're fun. Let's have a convo and discuss some sweaty nerd stuff. Shane?
No, great show. Glad you guys are here. Thank you for watching. Let's keep this ball rolling. The seasons are just going to get more exciting for the Orville and Star Trek Discovery. Keep coming back. Check out some of our other stuff. Thanks for being here.
We love you all, and we'll see you.
We'll see you soon.
That's right. Hey, thanks for watching the whole video, man. That's really, really cool of you. If you look over here, there's another video, and you can watch that, and then just watch more. And if you're not subscribed, you should probably do that, too. Subscribe, please. 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 I hate myself sometimes.